Well, you know, they always say it's best for you to receive your flowers, if any, while you're still above ground. So I'm very honored and moved by consideration of Long Islanders and like the city for this album, this film. Well, you know, like everything else, it had its challenges, and it has ups and downs, and it's a very rewarding career if you're disciplined enough and willing to put in the time and the effort. But it's been quite a journey, you know. But for the most part, the interaction with me and the Long Islanders is pretty good. It's a pretty strong one. You know, for a person from north to south, pretty good relationship with the Long Islanders. We've had three boats. We've had three boats. The first boat we had was the Eminent Seekers. That boat, the keel was laid in 1987, and we commissioned her in '88. I remember we departed St. Augustine in February of 1988. And I ran that for a while, ran that for until about 1993, I think. And then it was sold off to our cousins, the Maycoms. And then we looked at replacing that boat with another boat, which is called the Cherisem. And the Cherisem came about in 1995. We serviced Salt Pond in the Cherisem from '95 until we got the Highland Link in 2004. And we've been servicing the Long Island community from 2004 to date. Yeah, that's about almost going on 21 years with the Highland Link. Yep, I've been participating in regattas from quite a while. I would say probably from 1983, I want to say. 83, 84 is when I started on the parade. I've been sailing actively in the regattas from then. Well, sailing is in me. It's in my blood. My grandfather sailed for a living, literally, on a sailboat. We sailed between the island of Regatta Island, Cuba, and there was a lot of trade with Haiti and the Bahamas back then. And then my dad came up after my granddad, and he was doing the exact same thing. And I guess I just picked it where my dad left off. It's in me, it's in my blood. But I sail on the A class. We have two boats, the New Courageous and the Original Courageous. So I sail on those two boats. Most recently, the New Courageous, I've been on that. She was launched in '97. But I've also sailed on B-class boats and C-class boats, which are a lot more work. But I sail on all classes. Smaller boats tend to have you more active because they're not as steady as the A-class boats. You're crankier, so you got to be on your P's and Q's on those small boats. If not, you're gonna sink, capsize. I sank once or twice here. The key is to try not to sink. Yeah, I want to pick up where I left off last year. Last year we didn't win. I think the running tide won last year, but we had our issues, our fair share of issues. Nobody really cares about that. As far as they're concerned, they're going to beat, which is correct. So I'm gonna go a bit this year and give it another try. Yeah, for quite a while. Well, first it took me a minute to take it all in. I'm like, wow. Finally, somebody's giving me a little bit of recognition. Yeah, I'm very humble and moved, and I'm really appreciative of the consideration of the Long Island District. It's not for the faint of heart, I can tell you that. It's not easy. It's a lot of time away from home, a lot of missed birthdays, missed everything. It's a life on the sea. And not everybody is cut out for this type of work. It takes a special individual to take on a life of a seaman. Well, the key word in most things in life is, if you're the young white people, is discipline. I would say discipline. You have to be disciplined in whatever it is you do. Discipline and have a mind to work. You'll be all right. Well, to all of my sailing adversaries out there, courageous comment. Be on the lookout, be coming.
Standing here with April and Jason. They just got here to Long Island yesterday, about to experience the 56th annual Long Island Regatta. Tell me what brings you for the very first time. Tell me, what brings you here to Long Island? What's the occasion outside of the regatta?
we're celebrating a friend's birthday, and we're staying at Cape Santa Maria, and we thought we'd come down for the day.
Excellent.
Check out the regatta, because you got to check it out, right?
Excellent, excellent. Now, there's a lot of sloops out there.
We're going to catch the first race at 1 o'clock.
You guys are going to catch the first race at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we haven't seen
Jason,
anything yet.
tell me, for you, what are the chances of us getting you out there on a boat sailing?
I would love to, but it's going to be based on our schedule of the time we got to get back up north.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Well, I know you guys are here. You're going to have an incredible time. Please let your friends know about this experience here on Long Island, and hopefully you guys will be back after
Yes,
this.
it's beautiful here. Beautiful.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's April and Jason. They're visiting Long Island, and they're about to experience their first regatta. Guys, I know it's a little bit loud behind me, but I just ran into the owner of the Witty K, Joshua Knowles? Jason Knowles. Jason Knowles. Forgive me. Jason, tell me, how is the boat doing so far in this regatta? I know we just finished the second series race. It was a tight race. Tell me what's your experience like with Witty K, and how's the regatta going so far for you guys?
Well, it started out very good for us. Actually, still going very good for us. The first race, which is the ocean race, we got first in that. And then the first point race, we got first in that. Unfortunately, he was doing pretty good in this one. We was actually second, and I'm getting third. So far, so good. You know, it's between us and Sassy Sue for the championship. You know, either way, we got to beat them. They ahead of us by 1 point. Right. So once we have to beat them tomorrow in order to win a championship. But it's looking good so far.
So what's your take? Let's talk about that race that just took place. What's your take on, I mean, I saw Stroud was able to sneak in there. What's your take on that?
Let's talk about that. I told my crew I was very disappointed in them because I think that they sailed a bad race. They was trying to make some different maneuvers, hoping to make Stephen make a mistake. But Stephen very rarely makes mistakes. So I was a little disappointed with them because, like I told them this morning, sail for position. You don't have to get first. Just sail for position, stay in the top 2 or whatever, so you'll be in a good position. They going out there, you know, these young guys, young blood, they hunting for the, you know, they want this first bar. You know, they already got 2 guns, so they're looking for a third gun. You can't blame them. But I tell them, you know, sometimes you sail smart because you see what Trout did out there, right? If they didn't came right up there and ended up getting second, they're lucky 2 or 3 other boats didn't pass them, trying to do tack for Stephen, trying to confuse Stephen, which you could very rarely do. You know?
Yeah, that's true, man. Stephen is a very experienced sailor, and trust me, that man knows what he's doing out there on the water. But Jason, listen, nice to meet you, and wish you guys all the best in this regatta. I also see Rodney Burrows here. We're going to talk to Rodney Burrows. He's a big contractor here in the Bahamas. Rodney, tell me, you're in your hometown. How's the regatta going so far for you?
Oh, the regatta is going well. I mean, we were out on the water yesterday, and all the boats sailed very well. It doesn't seem like we're having any problems, so definitely enjoying this regatta and hoping that everybody will come and have a great time like me.
Now, I know we got several Long Island boats in this race. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who you rooting for to take first place in the C class?
I'm rooting for Long Island to take first place.
Smart man. Great answer, great answer. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is the 56th annual Long Island Regatta.
Oh, that's it. Rock it. Do it. Come on. Check it out. Another weekend's here. We got a fever in the air. People all around. Everybody's getting down. Breaking skirt music. That's what they wanna hear. Dancing to the music. Everything they bear. Riding oh, that's it. Rock it. Do it. Come on. Check it out. Another weekend's here. We got a fever in the air. People all around. Everybody's getting down. Breaking skirt music. That's what they wanna hear. Dancing to the music. Everything they bear. Ride yourself for partners, spin around and round. Put your hammer timber, wind down to the ground. When you hear the music, you will ask for more. When you feel the rhythm, you will jump up on the floor. We got a time again. Everybody singing. Time again. Hear the music playing. Got a time again. everybody's dancing. No time for romancing. Oh yeah, do it, y'all. That's right. Shake it, girl. Ladies here with me
across the sea, and I am coming. I'm coming to you because I love Long Island breeze. Long Island breeze. Your barns are filling with the harvest from the fields and the birds. They're singing because they love Long Island breeze. Long Island breeze, I hear you calling me across the sea, and I am coming. I'm coming to you because I love Long Island breeze. Long Island breeze, I hear you calling me across the sea, and I am coming. I'm coming to you because I love Long Island breeze. Because I love Long Island breeze. Because I love Long Island
Play 'em again, H. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail a boat. Stephen knows, he can sail that boat. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail a boat. Stephen knows, he can sail that boat. Stephen won't go to heaven with no rudder on his head, but he'll be true sailing once he gets out of bed. Stephen's born in Bush with a faucet boats are built. He learned from his father and his brother's skill. One day with Stephen, we put him on a test. That's when he proved he was better than all the rest. Stephen come first in all three class. The other sailors on the sea, see when he passed. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail that boat. Stephen knows, he can sail the boat. Stephen knows, he can sail the boat. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail that boat. Now the record is there for all to see, so there's no reason to get mad at me. When Stephen bring in his crew, second place is the best that the sailors can do. Rough justice, Susan Chase, and Billy Kate. When he have those boats
have his own way. But Stephen make a mistake, you never know. You never see his boat sailing slow. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail a boat. Stephen knows, he can sail that boat. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail a boat. Stephen knows, he can sail that boat. Let that thing, man. Everyone in Bush, they all can sail. I'm talking about woman, man, boy, and girl. Mark and Marco, they can sail too. If Stephen don't show, they will be true. I'm talking about Bush now. That's a part of Long Island, in case you're wondering. That's my home, Long Island, you know. I hear Bussy saying, you won't really cave. Be careful with the accent, buddy. You might get it. I tell you what, y'all Exuma boys, come to Long Island, and we all come to Exuma. Let's make a party out of it. You see, I know what Stephen can do. So something like electricity. That's Stephen boy something else. I see one Regatta. I see Stephen nowhere. I see Willie K nowhere. When I look, I see them there by the bar sitting down. I say, "Your own gracious, Tammy." I said, "Boy, I finished. I don't win that." I said, "Oh my gracious, oh my, take my old to the Billy Goat." Stephen boy, you something else. Stephen knows is king of the sloop, the best there ever been. Before him, there's none. After him, be no other. Stephen knows is the king of the sloop. Now you can argue if you want to, but Stephen knows he's the man. Knows, you know, he's the king of the sloop. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail that boat. Stephen knows, you know, he can sail that boat. Stephen knows, you know.
So happy on Long Island soil. Mutton sauce in the morning or a nice group of oil. And I head for the city. Big money was my plan. Woman and fast living made me a broken man. But I'll be back on Long Island again, where the people are so nice and proud to let me in. Oh, going back to Long Island again, when there's so much love to give, less jealousy and pain. Hey, head down to Regatta side to watch them boats in broad daylight. Tide is high, the wind is fair, and all the sailing masters there. From Mango Bush to winning gold, the secret is in Mark knows. When he feels to win. Long Island boat again and again.
Back to Long Island.
Say, with DK.
Long Island.
Sweet Island gal.
Long Island.
Susan Chase.
Long Island.
Running Tide.
Long Island.
But I'll be back to Long Island again, where the people are so nice and proud to let me in. Oh, I'll be back on Long Island again, where there's so much love to give, less jealousy and pain. Oh yeah. Carefree, living in Long Island. I spent some time in Abaco, Bimini and Ryland. Now Abaco and home, and I could have flamingo. Long Island have a blue hole, how beautiful it flows. I'll be back on Long Island again, where the people are so nice and proud to let me in. Oh, going back to Long Island again, where there's so much love to give, less jealousy and pain. Let the mango go so sweet, big pineapple so juicy. There's no place I'd rather be but on Long Island again.
Back to Long Island.
Going
back to Long Island.
Pretty K.
Long Island.
Sweet
Long Island,
But I'll be back to Long Island again, where the people are so nice and proud to let me in. I'll be back to Long Island again, where there's so much love to give, less jealousy and pain. Ooh, go to church on Sunday morning, sing them good old gospel songs. If you want, you can come along. Back to Long Island again.
back to Long Island,
Ay, ay, ay.
going back to
Oh,
Long
yeah.
Island,
I'm going back,
back to Long Island,
back, back. Come on,
Going
go
back
with
to
me.
Long Island.
Hey, yeah. Go with my dingy boat, long as it could stay afloat, to the Keys for wild gold. Back to the island again.
I'm going, I'm going,
Come,
I'm going, I'm
I'm
going,
going.
I'm going, I'm going,
Don't you wanna go with me?
I'm going back
Come
to
on.
Long Island. I'm going back to Long
Hey,
Island.
yeah.
I'm
Going to Stella Maris,
back to Long
Maris
Island.
Town.
I'm going
Hey,
back to
yeah.
Long
That much
Island.
key,
I'm going
South Lawn,
back to Long
Scrub
Island.
Hill,
I'm going
Mango Grove.
back to
Come
Long
on, come
Island.
on, come on, come on with me.
I'm going, 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 I'm going.
Welcome back to day 3 of sailing here in beautiful Salt Pond, Long Island. We have A-class racing about to get started. We've had a couple of races already, E and G starting out the morning, followed by C, and then we had B, and now we're getting ready for the big boys. I'm Dwight Hart, joined by Captain Stafford Patterson, Captain Plug, and we're going to also invite Mr. Cartwright to join in with us so that we can recap some of the scoring from earlier today. Captain Plug, you had yourself one of those belly wash?
Actually, I went to the docks and had a rum and coke.
All right, even better.
But I spent most of my time downstairs trying to catch up with the sailors and get a feel for what's going on out in the race course and everything. How people are feeling about going into the final day tomorrow. Everybody's spirits are up. Looking forward to another good A-class race this afternoon, and then of course the final day of racing tomorrow.
All right. Well, we're joined by the Honorable Larry Cartwright, who is the chief statistician, keeps all the scores in place here for sailing in Long Island. And Mr. Cartwright, I know you've got a rundown of what has happened already earlier today. So if you want to quickly just remind everybody the results from your earlier G class, the E class, C class, and B class, we'd be happy to have you.
You're quite right. Right. We covered a lot of ground from this morning. The first race this morning was Class G, followed by Class A, Class E, sorry. In the Class G, we had Muriel's Garden coming out on top, followed by Blue Magic, 7Ds, and Sunfish, Tenage Manas. In the Class E, we saw Lady Kayla speed to the finish line in first place, followed closely by Honoree, Kate Knowles and Early Bird, and Emmett Knowles and Mako. They had a little infraction in the Class E. We had the Blue Marlin running the difficulty. She hit the buoy and suffered a 2-point penalty. And Cry Baby also failed to tack on a port tack. She collided with another boat and got a 3-point penalty. So that would have changed their scores. But since then, we had the Class C race, and in that we had Stephen Knowles and Sassy Sue coming through in first place, followed by Shroud, Witty K in third place, and fourth place was Colin Cartwright on the Sacrifice.
Yes.
And in Class B, there's 6 boats in that class, and we had Susan Chase coming out first, followed by the Lonesome Dove and Jerry Gale. Roger Fox and Old Boy was in third place, and Leslie Roll and the Sonia came through in fourth. And now we are lining up to the starting line to finish off our racing for the day, Class A. And again, there's 7 boats in that class, so it should be quite exciting with the amount of breeze and the good weather that we have. We have to be thankful for.
All right. Excellent recap of the races from earlier today. And Cap, if you want to just call out the names of the 7 boats that we have getting ready to get started here.
Sure thing, Dwight. In no particular order, our 7 A-class boats today are the New Legend, the Good News, the Running Tide, the Rough Justice, the Ed Sky, Captain Gene, and the New Courageous.
All right, 7 boats, and if I am correct, yesterday in the A-class, we had come across in first place New Legend, I believe.
Yes, they did. I honestly don't remember Running Tide's finishing position from yesterday, but I know they wanted to improve on the day before when they got tangled up at the start line.
And maybe we can scoot over to the statistician, Mr. Cartwright, to give us the scores from yesterday's A-class race.
Yeah, yesterday we saw the New Legend coming through in first place, followed by the Rough Justice, and Running Tide came through in third, and the New Courageous in fourth place.
All right.
Fifth went to Captain Gene. You know, Captain Gene is a new
A-class
boat for this regatta.
Yes.
So they showed their medal. I think at one point they got a third place.
Yeah, in the cup race on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah.
Captain Gene did.
So they're making their presence felt.
All right. Well, A-class, all Long Island. I think in the cup race on Wednesday we had Rough Justice in first place, New Legend in second. Yesterday, we had New Legend in first place, Rough Justice in second.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that they're even, because Wednesday's race at this point doesn't count for points.
No.
And so today is the second race, and we'll see. We call it moving day in golf and sailing, because it'll determine exactly where you would need to be for tomorrow's race, who you need to beat.
That's right.
After today's race.
You normally get ties after the second day, but
Yep.
the third day you get all the ties
Tiebreakers.
broken now.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to getting this A-class race started. I believe we have 6 boats currently on the line. You can see from your view on the screens, there's just one sail making its way to the line. And as soon as that boat gets there, gets set, we should get this A-class race underway. Fairly good time so far. It's scheduled for 4:30. We're right now about 10 minutes off.
Yeah.
I believe if you can ever get a race in regatta sail within 20 minutes of the scheduled start time, that's a pretty good time.
That's for sure, yes.
Today being the 3rd day of the regatta, perhaps everybody's really getting in the groove now and getting it together. Maybe tomorrow we'll go
even better.
4 races all right on time.
Right.
Yeah, and of course with the closing ceremony scheduled for tomorrow, and I know there's some TV a lot of time and radio a lot of time, so you have to be finished by a certain time in order to accomplish that.
You want to really start on time tomorrow.
The closing ceremony tomorrow night is 8 p.m. and for a lot of the crews with these boats, it's a scramble to get them over to the barge, get them de-rigged, and get them up on the trailer and everything.
Right.
But you know what? It usually works out, and a good time will be had by all, I'm sure, tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the meantime, we still got today's race in the A-class, and then of course another one tomorrow. And as you mentioned just a moment ago, Dwight, moving day, I think you said. So put up or shut up today, and maybe set the tone for what we might expect to see tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, Wednesday's race being a cup race, most skip owners will tell you if they're ever going to want to have a bad day, let it be the cup race day.
That's right.
Because you don't want to mess up during the points races.
It serves as a dry run for the boats to test themselves out to see if they're really ready for the series race. So
I think it's a great format to have that. I agree with you, Mr. Cartwright. How long has it been since you last sailed the boat? How long has it been since you last had the sails out of the bag?
Right.
Let's get everything out. Let's get going. See how everybody feels. Okay, you have a bad day, not going to be affected by the points thing. And then after that, okay, now it's no mistakes. Here we go for 3 races.
All right, well, looks like we've got 7 boats at the line. We're probably just getting those buoys set and showing that everybody is behind the 2 markers.
Just start shortly, yes.
And we should get going. And again, right now, only 12 minutes behind schedule, so we are pretty much running on time for this A-class race. The final race on the 2nd day of competitive sailing here in beautiful Salt Pond. If you tuned in please be sure to drop us a comment on Facebook, YouTube, and we'll be sure to call your name if you drop us a nice comment. We don't respond to bad comments, so you have to be really, really nice.
Nothing negative,
If you want to
please.
get your name called. And I see Brian Knowles says the volume needs to come up. You guys are doing an amazing job. So to our technical crew, your online listeners are saying the volume needs to come up a bit. So we'll see whether we can get that done.
A screenshot from the dock cam there with the afternoon sunlight reflecting off the water. Unable to identify who's anchored up where. And going against tradition this year, the Long Island Regatta, whereas normally the A and the B class would pick their starting positions at the skipper's meeting before the regatta starts, lottery style. This year, the regatta committee, race committee decided to just do like they've done with the smaller classes. First person to the line, you get your choice of starting positions.
Yeah, and I believe that may have been an inducement of sorts to get the boats to get there on time.
Get them on time, that's right.
I agree. We certainly offer incentive to do that. They've also been creating large, wide starting lines that lessens the liability of possible tangle-ups on the start, which is a good thing. Kind of hate to get tangled up ready to start.
Yeah, that is always a sour taste to start a race if you get tangled at the start, and doesn't allow for us to see the kind of sailing we'd like when one of the top boats gets delayed at the start, throws them out of the race.
Yep.
And with the positioning, you know, the boats know they have third position, fourth position, so they could take their own sweet time and get out to the starting line. So this normally speeds up the starting process.
Yeah. So maybe something that some of the other regattas may decide to follow going forward.
Or Commodore may decide to return to the original.
Yes, depending on the feedback after this regatta. But Mr. Cartwright, since you're here, and I know you've been a part of this Long Island Regatta and sailing in general for many, many, many years. I can remember from my very first Long Island Regatta about 18 years ago I was here, and I'm sure you were here probably many 18 years even prior to that. And that's not putting any age, particular age on you, but what is your general take on the festivities sailing so far for this 56?
Well, I am impressed by it. We have a young team of officers and supporters who are working both in Nassau and here on Long Island. And I must say, I am impressed with the amount of work that they did in getting the grounds all prepared, and the additional cabanas that were built and leveling of the ground. And there was always around this time of regatta, you would hear people complaining about the cesspit overflowing, and that, so they got all of that fixed now, and everything is in perfect shape, and it feels like a regatta, you know. Putting a timeline on myself, I started with the regatta in 1969. The first regatta was 68, and I've been here ever since.
Oh my God!
But I got into the sailing club to learn how to sail, but that only worked the first regatta. From the second regatta on, I was stuck here with the
Oh my God!
Well, I enjoyed it because it's all for the benefit of the island, you know.
Sure, it's the economic benefit of these homecomings and regattas. It's tremendous.
These regattas have proven to be an economic shot in the arm for the island, you know, and the business, especially the nightclubs, they look forward to this because this can take them through till the crawfish season open and then the Christmas season.
Yes,
so,
yes, a good economic boost. You know, it's kind of funny you mentioned that your first regatta you sailed, and then after that you were stuck here in the booth. And so I'll share this little bit of historical information. The first time I ever sailed in a regatta was right here in Salt Pond.
Okay.
And that was 1985, so much later than when you started.
You would have been a resident here then.
I was actually attending the NGM Major High School at the time.
Yeah.
But to add to that story, my main task on the boat was to hold on to the main sheet line. And I remember quite clearly as we came down to the windward mark in here, and the skipper told me to loosen the main sheet. Well, I let the whole thing go. And so the
You follow the instructions, right?
of course, the boom went right around, the boat tipped over, and we were all in the ocean.
Overboard.
And they invited me not to come back. And so I've not been on a sailboat since then. And as fate would have it, I'm now here in the booth, almost like yourself, working from behind the scenes, which I totally enjoy. Cap, I'm sure you've got a little bit more colorful story about sailing, and probably certainly have sailed more than myself and Mr. Cartwright.
Yeah, well, I started sailing in 1998 in the sloops, and pretty much straight through 2016, where I had knee replacements and spinal surgery, and decided that from a physical aspect, it's probably best for me to step aside. And we got younger people in our program, more agile than me, so I shifted over from sailing to just running the chase boat, and, having the tools and the extra sails ready. And then, long story short, just within the last year, got into the commentary thing, and really having a lot of fun doing it. Share my passion for the sport with all the viewers.
All right, well, from the view we had just now, saw some of the boats, Courageous on the right side of the course, Captain Jean, and I believe Ed Sky with 3 boats that we saw right to left. While we wait to get our drone coverage going again. And it looks like they're getting ready for
There
start.
we go.
And there again, so good news to your right. And looks like Captain Jean, second. And I believe it's
Ed Sky next,
Ed Sky.
off our edges.
And after that, we would have, looks like the Legend, Rough Justice, Running Tide, and either Good News or
Ed Sky.
Courageous.
Oh, they're all the boats are behind the line. I'm not sure why Good News is back that way, but that's their prerogative. So we ought to be fairly close to the start.
Yep, we can't hear the gun, but we can see the smoke when that cannon is fired, and so we'll keep our eyes peeled to see if we see any smoke. And again, 7 sloops here in the A class. New Legend, Good News, Running Tide, Rough Justice, Ed Sky, Captain Jean, and Courageous. All right, looks like the committee boat is satisfied that everybody is set. Looks like they're moving out of the way. And so we should see some evidence of a start coming up very, very soon.
Just prior to the 1 minute gun, the committee boat here in Long Island would typically come along the front of the start line with a megaphone and repeat the course directions to the skippers and crews, just to make sure there's no confusion. Maybe you missed a marker rounding side on the first announcement, and I think they're just calling for the 1 minute gun now on the radio.
Okay, so if that's the case, we should be about 60 seconds from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting concept, the way we do Bahamian sloop sailing. Start from an anchored position. You get a 1 minute get ready to go warning, and then you have the start gun.
Heave ho and go. Yeah, when I tell my international friends about how we sail in the Bahamas here, and they're like, "What? You do what?"
Very unique indeed.
It is. It really is. There are maybe 1 or 2 other places in the world where they use wooden boats with prize, but not quite like how we do in the Bahamas.
All right, gentlemen, I see smoke, which means that the 1 minute gun has gone. We've got 60 seconds to the start.
The anchor rope crew will have the rope in their hands.
See some evidence of that already.
It's important that the 3, 4, 5 guys, however many that are pulling the anchor, are very coordinated. Because if you're not coordinated, the rope just goes wildly the wrong way, like a loose snake. But you see the guys that are coordinated, they'll pull in that 100, 150 feet of anchor rope very quickly and efficiently.
And I believe we are not pulling yet. Should be about 10 seconds to go.
Good news at the bottom of the screen is moving, but they're still behind the line.
Inching up a little bit. Smoke.
There it is.
And we're pulling.
Yeah.
All right. Heave ho. Let's hoist sails and go.
You're off and running.
Let's go racing, boys.
Let's hope we all get off to a clean start. Nobody sailed well. Just as I say that, one sail about to go up, main sail. Go to the far top. Not sure exactly who that is, and we certainly can't tell from this angle or this camera view.
Okay, looks like the number 1 boat has chosen to go over on the port tack, maybe?
Ed Sky.
Ed Sky, okay. Yep, they're on port tack.
Good news,
Everybody
having
else?
some trouble with the sail. Gene, sail going up. Number 5.
Running tide.
Running tide, sail is up. Rough Justice looks like she's coming and she's gonna collide with Captain Gene if they don't move out of the way.
Very, very close there.
Close, close, close.
Just to the windward side. Captain Gene's Rough Justice, number 10.
And I could tell you,
Running tide.
Running tide is already out to a very good start.
Punching out front. Clean air.
And to the right of her be the Courageous and Legend.
Yes.
But Running Tide, as you can see, already looking like she's got herself just a slight lead. And Jean trying a different strategy. Looks like she's gonna lay back. Not yet.
Just slipping back though. Doesn't have quite the speed the other boats do.
Rough Justice starting to kick some waves herself. But I can tell you, Running Tide is looking extremely well at the
Very
top.
strong sail, very nicely trimmed.
Tight.
Maybe
No flutter.
not. Maybe Rough Justice might have a slightly bigger sail. But yep, Running Tide, getting a nice lift, pointing very well into the wind.
And she's gonna wanna
Now, the
make
question-
up some of the ground because she had a 3rd place finish yesterday, so looking to reverse her fortunes today.
How far over will these boats come before they tack over? Are we going to have any early takers?
Well, as you say it, Legend. Gone back.
Tacking away. She was in a little bit of dirty air there behind those other 2 boats. So she'll be kind of up the middle, maybe a little bit to the right.
Courageous also going back.
Courageous going with her, right?
Rough Justice has already gone back. Running Tide is going to go over some more, complete the the cut, sorry, before she decides to lay back.
Tide not looking too bad. It actually looks a little higher than it was midday.
It looks like it's coming up, but not completely high tide as yet. All right, so clean sailing. We have 3 boats that we can see on our screens. On a port lay to the top of your screen at the far right, New Legend, followed by Courageous and Rough Justice. And way out there to the right would be Ed Sky. She's got a long way to come back.
That is a long way.
To get back to the mark.
Yep.
And Captain Plug, I don't see the windward marker from this point.
Out here.
Oh,
Right in front of us.
It's right in front of us. So they've moved it.
I guess moved it out to accommodate
deeper
the
water.
deeper draft
Yep.
boats. Yeah.
All right, so that makes it a little bit closer for the boats that are all the way at the top of the line.
They're all coming back now.
All right, and yep, definitely looks like Running Tide has joined the boats on port.
Ed Sky is tacked on starboard now.
And Ed Sky is coming back on starboard to try to get back to the center of the course. And so coming from the top right on a starboard tack, Ed Sky. And from the drone, you can see
thinking that's Courageous.
Looks like she's borrowed a sail from the Legend.
It does.
It's got A1 on it.
Yeah.
And
Rough Justice there.
Rough Justice in the middle, number 10.
Yep.
And the real A1 sailing at the top. And so those three boats are currently on port, heading up the middle of the harbor. Coming from their right is Ed Sky, who's on a starboard lay at the moment. And as we swing our drone around to the left a bit, I'm sure we'll be able to pick up Running Tide.
Running Tide, yep.
And also New Courageous. With Legend to the right. Courageous sailing extremely well. Rough Justice as well in the center.
Boats are all looking pretty steady. Nobody's getting knocked down like with a heavy puff of wind. So not too puffy right now, just from the way the boats are moving or not moving, if you will. Everybody got the trim just so and the weight just so that the boat's heeled over a few degrees to leeward.
And to your far left at the moment, number 5, Running Tide, sailing back towards the center of the course. I wonder whether that move to go down whether she may have gone too far.
I think they went too far because right now it looks like if these boats come back, they would cut her.
Looks that way, yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. There's a puff of wind there.
Legend with that massive mast, she's able to carry a lot of sail. I'm not carrying her largest sail at the moment, more like a big medium, I believe. Captain Patterson, your view on that?
Definitely not a full large, no. Maybe just looking at these three boats in the picture here is one of them tacks. That just say it looks to be a little taller. Definitely helps, especially on the downwinds.
And it looks like the Courageous has decided to go and challenge Running Tide.
And they were getting some dirty air, but here's Courageous on starboard tack coming over in front of Running Tide on port. And this is going to be a close one here. Okay, Running Tide is seen. What was going to happen?
Yep, and it's forced Running Tide to immediately tack away before.
You know, honestly, I don't know if I would have done that. I think I might have held my course and went behind Courageous to kept my momentum going, to avoid the tack. But I'm not the skipper of that boat.
I believe that happening, the Legend and Rough Justice is able to increase and move up a little bit while Courageous and Running Tide get into attacking duel. And Ed Sky about to join the party as she gets across the middle of the harbor as well. And they've all cut Captain Jean. And the good news. So this is going to be interesting. Go ahead, Cap.
I was going to say it's looking pretty good for the Legend and Rough Justice over here, although they are below a couple of these other boats. Again, we'll have to wait until they tack back and come together to see who's where. But those two boats are looking pretty good, I think.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to take a one tack late to the starboard and come into the mark on starboard, full speed.
All classes of boats, but especially in the A class because it's the biggest. You got more crew to coordinate and everything. Every tack, the less tacks you can do in your maneuvering from the start to the windward marker, it's going to be better for you because the more tacks you do, it takes more time. Meanwhile, other boats are tacking less and perhaps gaining ground on you. So the prudent skipper is going to plot his course so that you have the least amount of tacking to get to the marker.
All right, well, we've had 2 tacks. Both the Legend and Rough Justice now have made their turn to come back to the mark. Rough Justice ahead of Legend at the moment. And in the middle of the course, everybody else is still coming up on port.
See if we got any crossings here.
And I believe by the time the Courageous and Running Tide get to the mark, they're going to be meeting up with Rough Justice and the Legend.
Oh, yeah.
And this one is going to be nice and nifty.
Rough
Stay
Justice
tuned.
and Legend can both, they can make the buoy from where they are.
And on your screens right now, Rough Justice sailing well, Legend sailing a bit flat at the moment. They want to get some of that weight back to the inside, get that boat to heel over just so, Captain.
Yeah, you don't want to be too flat, that's for sure. That kills your speed. And yeah, you see, if they hold like this new Legend has the inside line, but if Rough Justice can put on a little more speed, they can position themselves right in front and put dirty air on.
And it
New
looks like
Legend's
they're
sail.
doing exactly that.
Yep, that's a smart maneuver to do, especially coming in close to the marker. Kill the speed of your opponent immediately behind you.
And you can see in the background Captain Gene, going behind both Rough Justice and Legend. But all the action is going to be at the mark.
Rough
because
Justice.
coming to the mark from port is going to be Running Tide and Courageous. And it looks like Courageous may be able to cut Rough Justice. It's going to be close.
It's going to be very close, folks.
I don't think Running Tide can, but
no.
Courageous
Tide.
definitely with a shot at it. And maybe not because Rough Justice is coming, but Courageous is going to try to establish a starboard tack just in front of her. He's going to have to give her just a little bit of room, I believe. And there goes Rough Justice around Courageous. Rough Justice establishing that spot first.
Rough Justice, they're coming in with all the speed. Courageous with the tack. That cuts their speed down. So Rough Justice is going to slide right on past them. Now you got Running Tide coming in on the port tack.
She's going to have to settle in behind the Legend.
Immediately behind the Legend. Established on starboard tack. Nice clean sailing there, no contact.
Rough Justice around the mark in first place. Courageous going around the mark in second place. New Legend in third place. The Running Tide in fourth place. And it's going to be tight for the Courageous, but they're going to do it.
So our top 4 boats right here in a handful, real close together. Nobody's walking away from anybody as of yet. Good clean roundings. They'll get the sails set for a downwind run, wing on wing. Try to do that as smooth as possible.
And this is where Running Tide sometimes demonstrates her power. But Legend with that big, huge mane, also able to do some damage on a downwind leg.
Legend going high a little bit.
Ed Sky and Captain Gene now making their way to the mark, and it looks like Gene is gonna cut Ed Sky.
Yes.
And so Captain Gene not bringing up the buoy, as it were. Fifth place at the moment, Ed Sky in 6th.
Yep, Ed Sky tacking over.
Good news is gonna bring up the rear.
Good news coming in from the right-hand side of the course, the left-hand side of your
Look at all
screen.
those spectator boats enjoying those boats as they come around the mark. And they're going to follow them all downwind again. And so we're going to have to sit and wait and watch these boats dance their way down to the downwind mark to see if any positions change. But
Got New Legend hot on the heels of the
Courageous?
Sorry, the New Legend hot on the heels of the Rough Justice. Is that right? First and second. Rough Justice in first.
Courageous, I think, went around in second.
I'm sorry, Courageous. That's that sale numbers got me
Yes.
mixed up again.
So it's A1, then A1 again. But the fake A1 is in second place.
Fake A1 in second. That's Courageous. Third place,
the real A1.
A1. Yep. And we're followed by Running Tide and Captain Gene. They're all pretty close together. Nobody's walking away. Got the sail set for the downwind run. Drag that belly close to the surface of the water as you can.
And there's a view from the drone, and it gives us a good perspective on where these boats are. Rough Justice going in first place.
Opening up a little distance on second place there.
Yep. Courageous in a battle for second between the New Legend and Running Tide.
Second, third, and fourth right there on your screen. Pretty much neck and neck as far as sloop sailing goes.
I can tell you, Rough Justice has been sailing extremely well. She got her first on Wednesday in the Cup race.
Right.
Yeah, and so far they're doing great today, for sure. You know, I've seen it on our own team. Sometimes everybody's all on the same page, and everything
comes together.
No miscommunications. It's like you've been sailing together for 100 years, and that's part of what it takes to win a race in one of these regattas. You see the barman giving directions to his skipper.
Yep.
Telling him what's going on behind him, letting him know whether he's on course for the leeward marker or not. There he goes, looking for the leeward marker. And we got somebody waving at the drone.
Christo, young Christo, the son of Colin Cartwright. He sees the drone there and knows that he's on TV at the moment. And Josh knows. Josh is not like Stephen. Josh is looking behind. He's going to check to make sure he sees where his competitors are. And these guys are enjoying the drone hovering above. And so shout out to the Rough Justice crew. Yep, you guys are live.
Nice trim on the sail there. You see that curvature at the bottom. That's important for scooping up all the wind, along with keeping it close to the surface of the sea. And you know, second, third, and fourth, they're not far behind at all.
Well, you know what I'm surprised about though, Cap, is that Running Tide doesn't seem to have been able to move and catch up to Legend and Courageous. Normally, you'd see her kind of just walk up and start to overtake, but it looks like they're all sailing at the same speed at the moment.
Yep. I mean, sail might not be trimmed just right. Might have too much crew. You know, who knows? But there they are, pretty much second, third, and fourth, side by side, heading down to the leeward marker. If they were to hold this, Courageous would have the inside line, which is favored.
But always mindful that Stefan has that, let me stick it on the inside, coming from the outside.
I have seen that skipper do that maneuver and pull up into the wind and so many times in an incredible amount of degrees, and you go, how is the boat still going? And it's not going into irons, and yet he's pulling up and you're going off.
And so he's headed directly downwind once more, or upwind.
See what he can do when we get to the marker there.
All right, so at this rate, Courageous is just going to have to hope that they're on the line to make the mark. And if they are, then no issues to worry about.
And there's first place, Rough Justice, not far at all. They better mind their P's and Q's when they do this marker rounding. And they better be looking behind to see what the boats behind them are doing, because they're going to want to cover.
Absolutely, and I guess we'll, as our drone backs off, we're going to pick up the mark and see exactly where that mark is relative to where these boats are coming. Still a ways to go. Maybe they took the mark all the way to Exuma.
I don't think today is an ocean race, but it's up to the race committee to decide the lengths of the legs that we sail.
But of course, we have the windward mark further up the course, and so I guess for that reason,
good point.
They extended the downwind.
Move it out a bit, yeah.
Move it down a bit so that you still have the same length, just moving it further to the west.
Yeah, you don't want to be too much of a sprint.
Yeah, no, we want to give the boats time to spread out.
Yep.
And stretch out. So still some distance to go before they get to that mark. I can see it in my eyesight.
There's our 7 A-class boats, all in one shot from the dock cam. Thanks, Chuck. And yeah, pretty magnificent sight.
Yes.
Good time to look at sail sizes. I see third from the right, looking to be the tallest.
Yeah, but you know who that boat is?
Oh, let me see. New Legend?
No doubt. And now, head-on view with the drone. If you are into pictures, here's your shot. Beautiful white canvas laid back against that blue sea and blue sky. A painter's dream. All the boats seemingly sailing at a pretty neat clip. It looks like I would say the Legend and Running Tide have both made some ground up on Courageous.
Yeah, second, third, and fourth, pretty much right there together, and they're staying right with Rough Justice. Rough Justice is not increasing his lead on second, third, and fourth.
And so this next downwind leg is going to be extremely important. You cannot afford to make a mistake.
No.
Because after this, you're going to be going to the finish line. So
Yep, absolutely.
You want to hold your position.
A good marker rounding is going to be critical. Nice and clean, nice and tight. Get up hard on the wind. You don't want to be footing off.
So hopefully nobody's got the nerves. Nobody's got the belly at the moment. Just get around clean and foot race to the finish.
All right, our A race today. Sponsors. That's Saturday. Today's Friday. A-class. Okay. Series 2 race. It's the Prime Minister's Cup, sponsored by Sol Petroleum Bahamas Limited and Long Island Petroleum. Also partially sponsored by the Honorable Adrian Gibson MP for Long Island. If you look into the program, it says Series 3. That's a misprint. It's the Series 2 race, and we'll have the final third series race tomorrow, weather permitting. So very, very much thanks to the sponsors of the Prime Minister's Cup, Sol Petroleum Bahamas Limited and Long Island Petroleum, as well as the Honorable Adrian Gibson.
Yes, thank you very much to those sponsors, and keep your eyes glued because we're about to go around this downwind marker for the first time. And Rough Justice holding on to a slight lead. And I believe Legend has crept up into second place. Courageous looks like she's still holding off Running Tide for third place. And here they come.
Leeward marker right there to the right of your screen, next to the powerboat. There you go. Rough Justice getting ready to sheet in that mainsail, that huge mainsail, and harden up. Question is, once they do that, here they go around the leeward marker.
And quickly followed by the Legend. I mean, it is really, really tight. And Courageous right behind in third place.
The Legend really going to put the pressure on Rough Justice right now, especially if they can get a little bit above them on that marker rounding.
And Running Tide coming right around. And I can assure you, Stefan is probably going to try to shoot up on a port tack almost immediately, and words not out of my mouth soon enough. Not yet, but I can sense it coming.
It won't be long before one of these four boats in the middle of your screen break and tack over to the other side.
Legend bearing down with that big sail on Rough Justice, just putting some weight on her, letting her feel that pressure.
Hard to tell from this angle what kind of speed we got out of the boats. Okay, we got a boat tacking over.
Running Tide.
Running Tide is going port.
It's gone port. Captain Jean going around the mark right now. And how far down is Josh going to go with Rough Justice before he comes back? He's a little bit weary of the legend breathing down his neck.
Well, he may not be able to attack with the legend there just slightly above him. I can't see from this angle, but if the legend is above him, they can't attack without having a collision, because when they attack, they'd be on port, and they would have be disadvantaged. So they may be being pinned down
forced,
by the new legend there, holding them down.
And this one is going to be interesting. Courageous with a little bit more flexibility on when she can attack. And I see Rock coming into view. So we're almost running out of race course. It just looks like Rough Justice just wants to attack. You can almost feel that she wants to attack.
Okay, there we go.
Legend blinked first.
Legend talking.
See how far in Rough Justice is going to come. I think they might be wanting to think about tacking now and covering the legend for sure.
Courageous
talking.
Deciding to attack and do the covering.
Wow, Rough Justice coming in way in.
They decided to get as far away from the competition as possible. And now
they're coming around now.
She's coming around now.
You know, in the past, I've seen boats go along that shoreline there and catch an incoming tide and get a nice little boost. I don't know if that's what the case is today, but quite possibly.
We'll see.
Meanwhile, the running tide, who tacked over bravely first, heading over towards the middle and to the right side of the course. Below, but out to the front.
They backed the buoy out further.
Oh, they moved the windward marker out?
Oh, is it drifting?
Well, it looks like it's being towed. I'm not sure what I'm seeing at the moment. No, the mark is back down here.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like they moved it further to the left.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yeah, all clear there.
I'm assuming that's so that we can have a finish right in front of the regatta site.
I know they always make every effort to do that. It's great for the fans on the shore.
And so just gives this down upwind leg just a little bit more excitement, because it's a long way to go from the first time down.
And
I see some additional tacking going on.
Yep.
On the course. On the screens right now. Pick up the sail numbers. I believe this is Rough Justice in front of us with number 10.
Is that Courageous tacking over?
And I believe that's Courageous tacking over.
Rough Justice has pretty good speed going there.
Yep, and maybe you were right, Captain Plug, going deep down in the hole. She came out there on rocket fuel, shooting up the course.
Top of the screen, top right of your screen there is the running tide. Stefan going from fourth place around that leeward marker at the end of the first lap, trying to pull something out of the hat. Meantime, the Rough Justice crew coming pretty much up the middle, maybe a little bit to the right of the course, with excellent boat speed.
There is Running Tide sailing all by herself, and I'm not sure how long Stefan wants to stay out there, because the further down he goes, the further out he goes.
Just, yeah, you don't want to be sailing away from the marker, you want to be sailing towards it. But I have seen boats take that long, lonely run way out to the side there and then tack over and come in on ley line to the windward marker, and as the other boats come in on port and they meet and you go, wow.
How did that happen?
Never, yeah, how'd that happen? Never would have thought they would have done that. So don't give up hope if Running Tide is your boat. Just they're out there by themselves and with the other boats over here on the other side of the course. it's very difficult to judge what positions we're looking at.
All right, gonna pick up some of your comments. Scott Patterson, Rough Justice was coming with power. Thank you for the sponsors. Plug. Yeah, Hilda Strawn cheering on the running tide. Lorenzo, let's go legend. And good afternoon, Cap and Dwight. Lorenzo checking in from Nassau. Good afternoon to you, Lorenzo. And there's Captain Jean on your screens right now. She was currently in 5th place. A shot of the lonely running tide, who's all the way almost to Ragged Island at the moment.
They are out there, let me tell you. Meanwhile, a little bit further back and just off your screen to the right, so we have 2nd and 3rd. Oh, well, we don't know if it's 2nd and 3rd. We've got 2 other boats tacking back and forth. The New Legend and the Courageous.
Yeah, and we've got some action going on to the right of the screen of our course, sorry. Boats now going back on it's a port lay, but heading, looking more like out as opposed to down. But it may be just my eyes deceiving me at the moment. This is going to turn into a very, very interesting race because at the moment we've got at least 4 different lays.
Running Tide is tack now.
Yep, Running Tide has decided to attack, and I'm not sure that they know that the mark has moved further to the left of the course, but we'll see how that strategy pays off. They've got 2 rocks in front of them, and they've got to navigate around.
Yeah, they're going to want to be real careful around that, but I'm sure Stefan, I'm sure he knows where the depths are there.
All right, so I believe what we're seeing now is, well, we're seeing from our drone shot. We can get back to that. Rough Justice coming on starboard and now reestablishing herself on port, followed by Courageous, Legend, and Ed Sky. So from your left, Rough Justice, next to her Courageous, Legend, Ed Sky, all now on a port lay, and they're heading up the harbor.
Courageous, the Courageous is going to want to be careful to stay out of the dirty air coming off the Rough Justice mainsail. Meanwhile, from the drone is a great shot of Ed Sky, last year's national champion.
Not only dirty air, but dirty sail.
Yeah, canvas sails
hard to keep clean.
Do mildew sometimes if you're not careful.
And you can see in the foreground coming across on starboard, that's the Running Tide all the way out to your right. And she's gonna meet up with the 3 boats coming on port. And this will tell you who's got what in this race when these boats meet at the middle of the course, which they will have to, because the mark is in the middle of the course.
There'll definitely be some crossings here.
And so, did Stefan gain anything by going all the way out? He was in 4th place when he made his tack.
See how it shakes out here as they come across. We're looking at the New Legend right on the front and center on your screen. There's the Running Tide in the distance, coming over on starboard tack, which is the favorite tack. These 3 boats here are on port.
There's Courageous. There's Rough Justice.
Courageous with that barred sail.
Running Tide has decided to go back to port. And I'm not sure if that was to avoid Jean. Didn't seem, that would make a lot of sense. Because
they were on starboard, so they had the right of way, but
yep.
Skipper's thinking now's the time to tack.
And I guess it's to make up some more forward speed because they were nowhere near close to Jean for that tack. And Stefan may be trying to shake up the guys below him, goad them into doing something that they don't need to do. But they're all going forward on port. To your left, Rough Justice. In the center, Courageous. To the right, New Legend. I mean, Courageous sailing extremely well. And to the top, you have Running Tide all going to port, and they've got to get to that mark, which is way up the harbor.
Well, from the angle we just had on the screen, it would appear that Running Tide's still in 4th place.
Yep.
But we get a little closer there, we'll be able to determine for sure. That's Running Tide, number 5, right in the middle of your screen. Three different lines here with the Rough Justice on the left there to windward of everybody else, appearing to be in 1st place. Captain Gene on your right, Run Tide on the left. Looks like Tide maybe a little bit to windward of Captain Gene. And Gene's tacking, coming back over to the middle of the course. See if they can make this a nice smooth tack. The prize out. Get your mainsail trimmed.
Yeah, she herself has got a very, very tall mast. Big main sheet.
And there they go. Tack established. Running Tide, doing the best they can to make up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I figured out Stefan's strategy. He wants to be the first to get up to establish that starboard tack and see if he can come flying towards the mark.
It's definitely the preferred way to come into the mark. They're tacking over now.
And he's tacking over now, and I believe it's probably more to avoid some of that low water out there than
shallow bow,
actually to make the mark, because I don't think he can make the mark from that far out.
Don't think so, no.
And Legend has also come back on a starboard tack already. And they're going to try to get back to the center of the course themselves. Rough Justice and Courageous continuing on port. And I believe both of them are going to try to go all the way out past the mark and come back on starboard directly to the mark. They were low enough on the course to give them some flexibility.
It's definitely the preferred line if you can arrange it to come in on starboard. Gives you the right of way over any boats coming in on port.
And there you see Rough Justice cutting Running Tide. And what's happening between Courageous and Running Tide? And Running Tide has cut Courageous. And so that move.
It should move them into 2nd place.
But I don't think they can make the buoy from there, so they're going to have to also come back.
They will have to tack and one more extra time.
Rough Justice now establishing a starboard tack, and Courageous right behind. And so both of those boats are now on starboard coming to the mark. And if Stefan can't make the mark from there, he's going to have to tack once more.
Go on port.
And go on port, which would then put him as the burden boat.
Yep.
But he's definitely made up a lot of ground. Certainly, at minimum, he'll be in 3rd place because it looks like the Legend has fallen off a bit.
Okay,
so we're going to see some juking, I believe.
You're going to have to, because I'm looking out the window here, and certainly Running Tide is going to have to juk up, as you put it, pull up hard on the wind and pinch. That cuts your speed down. I got to say, from personal experience and witnessing it myself, Stefan is a master of that, as is Buzzy, although he's not in this race, I don't think. So there's a Running Tide, number 5, right in the middle, pinching. See if they can make it to the windward marker without having to do any more tacks.
If he pulls it off, he will be in a tight spot for 2nd. If he can't pull it off, then he may lose a position, but we'll see. We're not calling it yet.
The windward marker in sight momentarily. There it is.
There it is to your left.
Right next to one of those spectator boats.
It's going to be really, really, really tight.
Rough Justice is looking good. Running Tide's line, not so much.
But she may make it if they keep that tiller tight
If
to the
anybody
right.
can do it, Skip and Stephen Knowles can do it. So they're currently in second, immediately behind Rough Justice in first. Two boats out of Long Island battling out in the second of 3 points races, 56th annual Long Island Regatta. Rough Justice putting on a burst of speed here.
Oh yeah.
I think the running tide will make it, but the cost of pinching up into the wind like that
It's going to
is
throw you a turn off.
They've lost speed, and you can see how Rough Justice has just stepped out a few extra boat lengths coming up to the windward marker.
And Courageous coming full speed as well.
Courageous not
don't see
having
a
to
finish
pinch
line.
as much. Rough Justice clearing the windward marker for the second time in this race.
And I'm not sure if we've got the finish line set up as yet, or the boat's going to go for another spin. Maybe the gunboat just in front of us.
Oh, those two, okay.
And so,
Rough Justice is heading downwind.
and Courageous looks like she's going to cut Running Tide off as she makes her way to the mark. I know Courageous has
coming
got
in.
to give Running Tide room.
They got to give them buoy room, but they're coming in with a head of speed and a lot faster than Running Tide right at the moment. Courageous ought to make that clear around Running Tide, holding on to second place.
Can't tell whether there was any contact between the buoy, the boom. It's very, very close, but it looks like
They are
it's
going
clean.
back downwind.
I believe the committee is just late setting up the finish line. I see them dragging a buoy just in front of us. So if they are going to finish, they're going to finish just in front of us. And if it holds as it is, it will be Rough Justice in first place, Courageous second, Running Tide a tight third. It was really, really close.
Legend fourth.
And the Legend in fourth. Still can't tell whether these boats are going to the finish line or going back out. There's maybe some confusion there. I hope not.
Oh, they're setting up the finish line over there.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on at the moment because Rough Justice is heading back out as if she's heading back for another lap.
They certainly opened up their lead on second, third, and fourth.
Mm-hmm. And this doesn't look like a finish happening right now.
Well, we certainly got enough daylight to put in another downwind and upwind.
Looks like another lap.
Certainly give a Running Tide another opportunity to make some moves and catch up.
Well, after improving a couple positions on that last upwind, you certainly have the opportunity to do it again. Be interesting to see if he goes all the way over to the right again by himself, or if he stays with the fleet.
But I'll tell you, Rough Justice now starting to stretch out just a bit. From this drone angle, you can see she is pushing it just a bit.
They've definitely found some speed, and you can see the results of it.
Rough Justice, Running Tide and Legend swapping positions from the last lap, where Running Tide was on the outside in fourth place. Now we have Legend on the outside in fourth place. But the Legend's got that big mane, and we know that can generate a lot of speed downwind, especially in these lighter breeze.
Be interesting to see what line they take. It's kind of supposed to go in a straight line from windward marker to leeward, but there's a little bit of flexibility if you want to overtake or you feel you have enough speed to overtake. You have to keep clear, and I think you're supposed to go to the leeward side.
There's our guys on drone.
Rough Justice giving you a wave out there.
Mark Knowles, Stefan up to one of his tricks. Make it happen, Running Tide. Winfred Deal, shout out to my Exuma fans. Dan Deal, Deals Beach. Allstate Auto Body. Shout out to my Burnt Ground family, KLA Foundation. Keep the comments coming, and we'll do our best to shout you out.
New Courageous there with a borrowed sail in good second place there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, third and fourth, pretty much mast to mast, immediately behind them.
Running tight, a new legend. Captain Jean holding on to her 5th place. 6th place, Ed Sky. 7th place, Good News.
I think it's a fair thing to say that there's a bit of a rivalry amongst these 3 Long Island A boats, Dwight.
Yes, no doubt about that.
So I'm telling you right now, between the new legend and the Running Tide, right now they're shooting daggers.
Red sailing cap over to his left that they put in the second lap.
I do.
Gives the fans who come to watch the races a little bit more to see.
And it gives the sailors another windward leg to see if they can throw in some strategy to improve their position.
Absolutely, and considering that we started this race pretty much on time, we got some time.
If it's going to start and if you're going to have a second lap,
yes,
this is the day for it.
Absolutely.
Because tomorrow you could be pushed for time.
Yes, yes.
A flag right now. No white flag.
What's that?
Rough Justice out in front by several boat lengths.
Again.
White flag. White flag.
All right, Rough Justice sailing all by herself in front place at the moment, doing extremely well. Josh Knowles, if he is able to deliver today's win, will be his 2nd gun out of the 3 races already held in the A class, and really starting to demonstrate that Rough Justice, as his dear grandfather said when he was building her, Bert Knowles, that this boat is going to be a winner. And, you know, I remember Captain Patterson doing an interview with Bert while he had Rough Justice just with the keel set. And he was just starting to frame up in Clarencetown. And, you know, he said, this boat is going to be a winner. And I said to him, how do you know that? You've not even built the boat, he said.
Right.
And he says, just remember, this boat is going to be a winner. And rest in peace, Bert. I had many fond conversations with him over the years.
Oh, he's a great guy, man.
Very, very good guy. Character, not to say the least. But he predicted that Rough Justice would one day be a dominant boat in A class, and she's not there yet, but she's certainly showing that she has the capacity and potential.
Very good showing in this regatta so
whenever
far.
you can take out both Stefan and Mark, not Mark, David, in a regatta without any hiccups, because we didn't have any infractions, no false starts, no issues at the starting line. They all got out at the same time. It shows that Josh is learning how to sail Rough Justice, and she is showing that she can compete.
Oh yeah,
with the other big Long
quite
Island boats.
competitive.
Yep, and that's good. I mean, that bodes well for the sport. We all want to see more competition.
And Joshua is gaining more confidence now in
Yes,
himself.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. And Ranger Stefan, those know this hobby inside out. All the tricks out today. Masterful sailing. You're absolutely right. He's definitely ready to pull one hat trick out to go from 4th to 3rd. We'll see whether he has anything else up his sleeve as these boats make their way downwind for the 2nd lap. And then they're going to come around, and it's going to be trick or treat coming back up.
Rough Justice is really going to want to keep an eye on what the Tide and the Legend do after they clear this marker and start heading back upwind.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see if Tide goes one way and Legend goes the other way.
Yes.
Which way Rough Justice will go.
Yes.
So we'll be watching for that once they clear the leeward marker. Got the dock cam in action there.
We should be getting back to our drone coverage very shortly. No boat cam for this race. Hopefully we'll be back with the boat cam for tomorrow's races.
That'd be great. Tomorrow's put up or shut up day. All the marbles will be determined tomorrow. Looks like the weather's going to be decent like today. That's a good thing. Come on down to Regatta Park. Lots of food and drink, cultural events, great entertainment in the evenings. Talk smack with the sailors and whatnot, and the wannabe sailors in between races.
Absolutely. All right, and I believe the boats are going to be at the lee mark in just a few short minutes. It looks like things have stretched out just a bit more. Rough Justice still holding on to first place. Courageous in second. Running Tide seemingly putting some distance between the Sultanar and New Legend, falling further back down to fourth place. And I'll tell you, if this race remains and ends the way it is right now, it is really going to make the scores very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Cartwright.
That's right.
Other than the top one.
The Justice is going around now.
And Justice is absolutely now deciding.
There's a marker there. So
going to the mark and around.
I'll get a little count going to see how far out in front they are of the second place boat. See how many seconds between the two boats as the number 2 comes around the marker, the Courageous. Rough Justice definitely stretched it out a bit on that downwind. And there's Courageous coming right to the mark there.
I count 35 seconds. I don't know where you are, Captain Pat.
Absolutely, 35-second lead for Rough Justice over the Courageous, which is somewhat substantial, but not something that could be insurmountable. Courageous throwing some different strategy, maybe get a nice little lift there. Could make up that ground.
And we've got about 13 seconds between Courageous and Running Tide, and about 5 seconds between Running Tide and New Legend.
So second, third, and fourth still pretty close together. First place does have a little bit of a cushion, but they better not be careless or make a mistake, because they lose that position real quick.
All right, so let's see what the strategy is going to be for the 4 boats that are now around the lee mark and going to make their way back down to the windward mark, and then they finish. Who's going to be the first boat to commit to the port tack?
Running Tide is
Legend decided to be the first to go.
I'm Running Tide.
And Running Tide is quickly following.
Running Tide is covering. Let's see what Rough Justice decides to do, what Courageous decides to do. Decision time, skippers.
I believe Courageous and Rough Justice is going to let Legend and Running Tide duke it out at the top. And they're going to go to the bottom.
Still got a little distance. The top 2 boats coming into those rocks over there. But they don't want to get in too close. It gets shallow pretty quick.
And there you have it. At the bottom of your screen, number 10, Rough Justice. Followed by Courageous. Rough Justice sailed firm and full. A little fluttering in the sail of the new Courageous. And while at the top of your screen's going back, on port already, Running Tide and New Legend.
So, our top 4 boats, 2 to the right, 2 to the left.
And there's a tight rounding between Captain Gene and Ed Sky. Captain Gene with that huge mainsail basically hiding Ed Sky, which themselves carry a very big mainsail.
Yeah, it looks like they've gotten around and separated a little bit.
And now just one boat left to go around. Good news.
Ed Sky doing their best to work up to windward.
We got a brothers duel out there. David and Stefan.
Absolutely. Legend against Running Tide.
Long Island rivalries.
Courageous going on port now.
Courageous is definitely tacked to go on port. Rough Justice not yet taking the bait. And I believe now she's gone on port
It's
herself.
coming around now.
All right. And so the top 4 boats are now on port tack. And they will be walking up towards the windward mark.
And then the finish.
And then the finish we expect. I don't think we're going to have 3 laps.
No, I don't think so.
I've never seen that. So 2.5, I think we'll complete this.
Great shot of the Courageous there. Flying a different number. It's a borrowed sail. It's got a 1 on it, so they borrowed a sail from the Legend.
It's paying off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's doing very well for him.
Stefano Kemp, the sail maker, on the tiller. So he's probably got a little deal. Maybe he bartered a deal for a sail in order to borrow that sail.
I love bartering.
Yep, I'll make you guys a sail if you let me borrow one. And there's Rough Justice. What a beautiful shot of that Salt Pond Harbor.
Rough Justice mainsail and the jib nicely trimmed.
Perfectly. It's almost like a photograph out there. That boat sailing extremely well. Captain Patterson heeled just so.
They found a little bit of speed and some coordination perhaps amongst the crew. This being the 3rd race of the regatta, I've been watching as you have and all the fans have, and been impressed with the speed they've put on.
Yeah, balance just perfect.
Maybe they've found the right combination, at least for this regatta anyway. And we'll see how what kind of results we get after this race is over, and then going into the finale tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you, if she's able to hold on to this first place, she will be the lead boat going into tomorrow's race.
Yes,
with the low point of 3 points. She got a second yesterday. First today will do it.
You see their barman there just reaching and leaning around the jib, trying to keep an eye on those other 3 boats there. Courageous, and then out in the distance, Running Tide and New Legend. Feeding information back to the skipper. Crew doing a nice job of keeping the boat heeled just so.
I just love seeing this. This is just beautiful.
It's a great shot, man.
Seeing all that action.
I almost feel like I'm there on the prize with him.
I'm sure you do. And there's some of the crew calling for the drone. Get closer to us. We want to be on TV. Well, guys, you are on TV. A nice wave for the drone. These guys are enjoying it.
Almost out like they're out for a Friday afternoon sail. Great shot of the sail there on the number 10, Rough Justice.
Yes, absolutely. This is sailing at its best. Fantastic. It is Courageous herself sailing well, sailing extremely well. And you can see from the distance between Courageous and the Legend and Running Tide all the way out.
Those 2 having their own race, I think.
Yep. So they're going to be slugging it out for 3rd and 4th place, because I believe Courageous is still sailing well enough to maintain 2nd.
Courageous is looking pretty good coming up the middle there.
She does.
A little leeward of Rough Justice, the 1st place boat, but doing well. Their sail also looks fairly well trimmed. Great view from the drone, looking right down across the top of the deck.
All right, and back to our dock cam. You can pick up the Legend and Running Tide. Your far left.
As they inch closer together, I'm starting to wonder how how close it's going to be between the top 4 boats there, 5 boats really. But let them get a little closer together. You see if I can pick up the windward marker again. Have they moved it again?
No.
Oh, it's back over here, right?
Down here.
Okay, so we're definitely going to have a few more tacks before the boats clear the windward marker for the third time.
Yep, they will all, I believe, have to come back on at least one starboard, then port, then back starboard again to make the mark. Unless Rough Justice and Courageous feel comfortable where they are on a course to go all the way down and just come back on one starboard tack.
Yeah, of course, that'd be preferable because that only requires one more tack, whereas Legend and Tide will have to make 2 tacks.
And Tide is about to do one of those tacks right now.
Definitely going to be a factor. There's some shallow water over there.
And so Running Tide now. Coming back on attack. Legend
coming around.
Coming around herself. Beautiful tacks from both boats. Sails set.
And there's our other 2 boats.
Courageous and Rough Justice.
I think Rough Justice and Courageous will cut these 2 boats.
Yep.
But they haven't gotten close enough to get yet together. But looking like they'll have an edge. That'll put the Running Tide in 3rd place as they currently sit. Rough Justice still holding a pretty good lead, but gonna need to keep an eye on Courageous and the Running Tide and the depth of the water around them.
And if we sit right here with our drone, you'll be able to see the exact distance between Running Tide and Courageous as they meet at that cross section of the course. But you can tell now, Courageous well ahead of Running Tide. And likewise, Rough Justice. And so a safe cut by both of those boats, of both the Running Tide and the New Legend. Rough Justice, of course, sailing closer to the mark. So she's going to still have her lead on the New Courageous.
Yeah, Rough Justice, I look to the windward of Courageous. Top 2 boats there on the left of your screen. Courageous on the left, Rough Justice immediately to the right.
Legend and Running Tide duking it out for 3rd and 4th place. And Courageous now deciding to go on her starboard tack. She's gonna stay away from that shallow water.
Well, they're gonna have to tack again for sure. But perhaps a wise thing to stay out of the shallows, stay in the deeper water. See how far over the Rough Justice goes.
Rough Justice may be a little bit safer because she was so far down on the course.
Good point. Yep.
Yep. She may have escaped having to worry about any of the shallows.
I still don't know. I'm not certain they can go all the way up and come in on ley line on starboard tack without making another short tack here coming into the middle of the course, but we'll see.
Well, no action is yet from them, so it looks like they're going all the way down. They had a very unfortunate incident at the Best of the Best a couple of years ago by sailing right up on a shoal when they were in 1st place.
Yeah.
And so,
what a way to ruin your day, man.
I'm surprised they're going so far away there.
And they were the butt of many jokes for a long time, saying that they stopped racing and went to a bar. And Mark Knowles was on the tiller, and he took the brunt of all of those jokes. But Rough Justice, man, they're deciding to go all the way.
They're gone way over. I think they're going to risk it with the shallow water. See if they can bring it in on one
Starboard.
tack on
Yeah.
starboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they still got a pretty good little cushion on the rest of the fleet, but no time to relax.
Yep.
'Cause
Running
those-
Tide now, coming back on her port tack. And Rough Justice now doing her starboard lay, and if she doesn't run aground, she should be able to make the mark
Sure, looks like it, yep.
from where she's at. It's going to be interesting between Courageous and Running Tide, I can tell you.
Yep, here comes Courageous on port tack. I'm sorry, on starboard tack. Running Tide coming up on port.
And Courageous having to tack away. And so that tells me that Running Tide is
Close to honor.
gained honor. And that was more of a defensive tack, I believe.
I think
from
so.
Courageous to dump some dirty air
Dump the dirty air, yep.
on Running Tide. Trying to ensure that they maintain that second place at least.
And they're going to need to tack pretty soon.
It looks like Running Tide is tacking back once more. She had enough of the dirty air. But while that's happening, you can see on your screens Rough Justice powering through all the mud, all of the...
Coming in hot to the windward marker. Looking real good.
She's made it through whatever low water was out there.
Finish line is in place.
Finish line in place. And she's coming in hot. Courageous is going to be right behind her. Running Tide, I believe, had to tack back because Legend is also threatening her position. She had to let the Courageous go to protect her third place.
Well, here comes the Legend on port tack. Running Tide coming in on starboard.
And here from our dock cam, you can see Rough Justice making her way while the Courageous now is going to establish her starboard tack. And we'll keep our eyes on the middle of the course where the Legend and Running Tide are going to have an interaction. And Running Tide has just come across Legend and going to immediately tack to try to establish that position and dump some dirty air on her.
Meanwhile, the new Legend cruising past them with a big head of speed, and Running Tide's going to want to get going quick if they have any hopes of doing the dirty air thing.
And hope that they can make the mark, too, from that low in the course.
I don't know that they're going to be able to do the dirty air thing. I think New Legend had too much speed going past.
Cleared them.
And they are clear. A little below, but good speed.
Rough Justice around, and she's headed for the gun. Courageous coming, full speed. While Legend and Running Tide are going to have to duke it out for third and fourth.
Legend appearing to be in third place at the moment. Captain Gene coming over from the other side of the course, but probably not quick enough.
No, still some ways away.
New Legend taking a good puff of wind there, heeling over. The crew working the prize to bring it back down.
This is going to be tight for Running Tide. She's going to be so close to the mark that her turn is going to take out, I believe, too wide.
But the Rough Justice gained on all of them.
I tell you, Mr. Cartwright, Rough Justice, they found some speed in this regatta.
Yeah.
See if they can carry it through in the finale tomorrow.
Well, we know they were 35 seconds at the downwind mark, so once they go through the line, Cap will do a little count to see whether she extended it at all. Courageous around in second place. Now here's where it's going to get dicey between Running Tide and Legend. Legend trying to establish starboard almost immediately.
Okay, almost simultaneously tacking. Running Tide on the inside. Good quick tack from the running tide. Neck and neck.
Look at that, brother
Can't
against
call this.
brother.
Can't call this yet. Neck and neck. New legend, running tide.
Wow.
Running
There's
tide on the inside, maybe with a little more speed, perhaps.
Rough Justice.
Rough Justice is through the gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Rough Justice, first place in the second points race in this 56th annual Long Island Salem Regatta. A class, the big boys. Second, third, and fourth coming in behind them. Second going, looks like it'll go to the Courageous there. Third and fourth is a battle, a hot battle between New Legend and the Running Tide, both out of Long Island. They're neck and neck, right there on your screen to the right.
Well, I'm already at 35 seconds, so that means Rough Justice has indeed increased.
They definitely, I'm 40 seconds.
And counting.
Well done to the crew on the Rough Justice.
And Legend looks like she's found herself just a little increase in speed at the end. And this is going to be a speedster of a race
Serious
to the
drag
end.
race. Drag race going on
Drag
right
racing
here.
going on.
Here we go. Number 5, Running Tide, right at the bottom of your screen. Number 1, a New Legend, just above them. They're neck and neck. Crews are just inching forward, leaning forward, trying to reach that finish line. Almost like a sprinter, lean forward.
It is extremely, extremely close from this angle. The camera is fooling you.
This looks like this might be a photo finish here, Dwight.
We're going to get that drone right parallel from the buoy to
Courageous taking
the
second
committee
place.
boat so we can see it.
We got a good angle on it here too.
Here comes
The
the
boat
New
on the
Legend.
buoy.
Running Tide, neck and neck.
Courageous is through. It's going to be
Neck and
Legend. It's going to be Running Tide. It's going to be Legend. It's going to be Running Tide. It's going to be Legend. It's going to be Running Tide.
There's your finish line
It's
between
going
the
to
two red
be.
buoys.
The camera
Oh.
froze. We didn't see it.
No. Oh man, looking from the booth here, I'm gonna say Running Tide, but that's unofficial. Unofficially, Running Tide takes third place.
Photo finish to the end. What an exciting finish to this race.
That was an awesome finish, man.
Absolutely.
I got goosebumps just watching that.
Wow.
I've been there before, and I know exactly what it feels like to be on either one of those two boats there fighting for that position, coming right down to the end of the race. Oh man, what a feeling.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, we're going to wait for the official results from on course before we call it, but it was an excellent race. That is it.
I'd like to give a good shout out to the crews and the skippers on the Running Tide and New Legend for having a clean marker rounding there, their last windward marker, where there was a potential for a tangle up and fouls and penalties. They gave respect to each other. They did it cleanly while keeping racing going.
Yep.
And so good job to those guys for doing that.
And it looks like Captain Gene is going to come in 5th place, followed by Ed Sky in 6th, and Good News in 7th.
Good news coming into the windward marker for the final time. Wow.
What a race.
Man.
What a finish.
Yesterday's A race, a little bit of a sleeper. They kind of spread out a little bit, but not today, folks.
This is what we're going to hope for tomorrow.
This is what I come to regattas for.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, most awesome racing out there in the course with the A-class boats today. And now all the crew's going to head back to the arithmetic and start adding up points and see who's where and see who they got to beat and who they got to stay in front of and who they can't let beat them. It's going to be a good final day of racing tomorrow, Saturday.
Fans, we hope you all join us for that because it's going to be exciting. And wow. All right, well, we're going to get drone footage of that finish to see, and we're going to run it on a replay before we close off the broadcast, Cap, just so that we can all revisit it one more time.
Okay.
Get those goosebumps. Back again. It was so close. That's the kind of finish we want tomorrow for the first place overall to determine who's going to win it all.
Today's A race sponsored by it's the Prime Minister's Cup, sponsored by Seoul Petroleum Bahamas Limited and Long Island Petroleum, as well as Honorable Adrian Gibson, MP. Thanks, guys, for your sponsorship and support of the sailing here, our national sport. And on your screen there, that's one of the boats that's already finished.
Yeah, Captain Gene.
Captain Gene coming across.
Just good news now.
So we got the good news yet to finish. He should be coming in on the left side of your screen momentarily.
All right, well, we're going to see a quick replay of the finish, just so we can see it again and witness it one more time. And here it comes. And we're calling it, and we can't tell from this point. It's Running Tide.
I think Running Tide.
I believe Running Tide took it by a nose.
Mere inches on that win there. But again, folks, that's unofficial. The race committee has a final say on that.
Yes.
But I think we agree that it looks like number 5, Running Tide, inched out the new legend by mere inches.
And so that is going to bring us to the end of sailing on day 3 here in Salt Pond, Long Island, the 56th annual Long Island Regatta, completing the 3rd day of sailing. First day was all cup races. Thursday and today, points races. And so at the end of today, all of the skippers will be going on to the scoreboard once the scores have been posted. Mr. Cartwright checking out to see where they are and figuring out where they have to be tomorrow. I believe we're going to have on-time races tomorrow because the boats that need to beat some boats are going to be out there to get to that position on the line.
Get that
before everybody else.
Get on the barge.
Get that favorable spot on the line.
First come, first serve.
Absolutely.
I'm certainly going to make sure I mention that if I'm talking to any of those guys this evening.
Yep. And, well, fans, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Dwight Hart, joined by Captain Plug, Stafford Patterson out of Abaco. We've also had the Honorable Larry Cartwright, who's the chief statistician here in Long Island for many years, joining us, giving us a recap of scorings from yesterday. And tomorrow when we come in, we will recap all of the day's scorings and point out exactly who's where and who needs to do what and what the expectations will be for the races for tomorrow. And get everybody on their seat's edge when these races get started tomorrow, because you're going to be watching your boat knowing the boats that they have to beat in order to qualify for podium tomorrow evening.
Oh yeah, you got to do your homework tonight so you know what you got to do tomorrow. Everybody wants to win, but maybe 2nd or 3rd place give you the right points to win the overall regatta. So looking forward to a real good day of racing tomorrow. E and G class at 8:30, C class 10:30, B class at 1, and the finale with the big boys, the A class at 4:30, and followed by presentations, I think, at 8. Just look at the closing ceremony and presentation 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Alrighty then, so fans, we'll see you tomorrow morning. We have some entertainment on the park tonight, so those of you who are in Long Island, make your way out to the Regatta Park and take part in some of the live band entertainment, Bahamian entertainment that's going to be out here tonight. And we will be here tomorrow morning, 8:30 live. Have a good evening.
Long Island breeze, your sheep are bleating, for their lambs who've gone away, and they are coming, they're coming for the sunshine, for the dance, and for the play. Long Island,
oh, that's it. Rock it. Do it. Come on. Check it out. Another weekend's here. Got a fever in the air. People all around. Everybody's getting down. that's what they wanna hear. Dancing to the music, everything they bear. Grab yourself for partners, spin around and round. Put your hammer kimbo, wind down to the ground. When you hear the music, you will ask for more. When you feel the rhythm, you will jump up on the floor. We got a time again. Everybody singing. Party time again. Hear the music playing. Got a time again. Everybody's dancing. Party time again. No time for romances. Oh yeah. Do it, y'all. That's right. Shake it, girl. Ladies here in the...
Guys, I know it's a little bit loud behind me, but I just ran into the owner of the Witty K, Joshua Knowles? Jason Knowles, forgive me. Jason, tell me, how is the boat doing so far in this regard? I know we just finished the second series race. It was a tight race. Tell me what's your experience like with Witty K and how's the regatta going so far for you guys?
Well, it started out very good for us. Actually, still going very good for us. The first race, which is the ocean race, we got first in that. And then the first point race, we got first in that. Unfortunately, he was doing pretty good in this one. We was actually second, and I'm getting third. So far, so good. You know, it's between us and Sassy Sue for the championship. You know, either way, we got to beat them. They ahead of us by 1 point. Right. So once we have to beat them tomorrow in order to win a championship. But it's looking good so far.
So what's your take? Let's talk about that race that just took place. What's your take on, I mean, I saw Stroud was able to sneak in there. What's your take on that?
Let's talk about that. I told my crew I was very disappointed in them because I think that they sailed a bad race. They was trying to make some different maneuvers, hoping to make Stephen make a mistake. But Stephen very rarely makes mistakes. So I was a little disappointed with them because, like I told them this morning, sail for position. You don't have to get first, just sail for position, stay in the top 2 or whatever, so you'll be in a good position. They going out there, you know, these young guys, young blood, they hunting for the, you know, they want this first bar. You know, they already got 2 guns, so they're looking for a third gun. You can't blame them. But I tell them, you know, sometimes you sail smart because you see what Trout did out there, right? If they didn't came right up there and end up getting second, they're lucky 2 or 3 other boats didn't pass them, trying to do tack for Stephen, trying to confuse Stephen, but you could very rarely do. You know?
Yeah, that's true, man. Stephen is a very experienced sailor, and trust me, that man knows what he's doing out there on the water. But Jason, listen, nice to meet you, and wish you guys all the best in this regatta. I also see Rodney Burrows here. We're going to talk to Rodney Burrows. He's a big contractor here in the Bahamas. Rodney, tell me, you're in your hometown. How's the regatta going so far for you?
Oh, the regatta is going well. I mean, we were out on the water yesterday, and all the boats sailed very well. It doesn't seem like we're having any problems. So definitely enjoying this regatta and hoping that everybody will come and have a great time like me.
Now, I know we got several Long Island boats in this race. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who you rooting for to take first place in the C class?
I'm rooting for Long Island to take first place.
Smart man. Great answer. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. This is the 56th Annual Long Island Regatta. All right, standing by here at the 56th Annual Long Island Regatta. We got a few sailors here. I'm just going to sit down and just talk with them to find out how things are going. Really quickly, just go ahead, introduce yourself. Let me know what boat you sail on, and then how are things going for you this regatta so far?
Good afternoon. My name is Carson, also known as Christo. I sail on the Lady Honoree Sacrifice, and I'm crew on the Susan Chase and Running Tide. So far in Lady Honoree, I've got a first and a second. And in Sacrifice, I got a 9th and a 4th today. But yesterday I was in 3rd, but I had a little mess up. But so far, everything's going good.
All right, excellent. Let's talk about the E-Class a little bit. First of all, tell me, how long have you been sailing, specifically the E-Class, and where do you stack up right now in terms of points, and what needs to happen, you know, for you to kind of finish out in the top 3 this weekend?
Well, I built my E-Class last year during the Christmas, so 2024 Christmas. Well, 2023, 2024. So yeah, I had it for almost 2 years now. So far, I've been doing good in most of my regattas, but for this regatta, all I have to do to get first overall, I have to beat Lady Kayla and Mako. But once I stay up in the top 3, I'll secure a second overall.
All right, well, Crystal, wishing you all the best. I see we also have another famous sailor here. I think his name is Drake. You're the son of Diane Knowles, correct? All right, tell me a little bit about your sailing experience, and then are you participating in this regatta? What boat are you sailing?
My sailing experience is pretty good. It's been good so far. In the races, in early bird, we got a fourth and a third. And then, yeah, we lost our second place position because of a few mistakes. And I sail on early bird, Captain Lauren Knowles, and Susan Chase.
All right, let's talk about early bird for a minute now. I think I saw, I could be mistaken, did you guys have a collision or was it a close call, anything out there on the course today, yesterday? Any touches, anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. Drake is like, he's a safe sailor. That ain't me. I got the wrong one. But we have some other folks here sailing. Can I speak with you for just a minute? This beautiful young lady here. Introduce yourself to those of our viewers that's watching, and let me know what's your experience been at this 56th annual Long Island Regatta.
My name is Asia Thompson. This is my first time at Long Island Regatta, so it's been pretty cool. I went out on the boat yesterday, was watching the races, and it's pretty fun. Sun hot, but it's been nice.
So you said first time out of Long Island Regatta, so you're not originally from Long Island?
No, I'm not, but my family is.
So where are you visiting from?
Nassau.
Nassau. So we got the city girl here in the island enjoying the regatta. Buddy, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let me know how you're enjoying things so far.
My name is Ethan Fox. It's pretty good. You know, last couple of regattas, been raining. Finally got some good weather this year. Good sailors, good races.
Excellent, excellent. You sail on any of the boats? No sailing? All right, we need to get you out there, man.
Yeah. Hopefully next year, you know, get out there, first timer. Hopefully do good.
You could take this hat off and probably get a tan, you know, a little tan. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to send it back over to our crew, that's our commentators that's basically running this entire broadcast. They're doing an incredible job. Stay tuned.
Go to the far top. Not sure exactly who that is, and we certainly can't tell from this angle or this camera view.
Okay, looks like the #1 boat has chosen to go over on the port tack, maybe?
Ed Sky.
Ed Sky, okay. Yep, they're on port tack.
Good
Everybody
news, having
else?
some trouble with the sail. Gene, sail going up. Number 5.
Running Tide.
Running Tide, sail is up. Rough Justice looks like she's coming and she's going to collide with Captain Gene if they don't move out of the way.
Very, very close there.
Close, close, close.
Just to the windward side. Captain Gene's Rough Justice. Number 10.
And I could tell you,
Running Tide.
Running Tide is already out to a very good start.
Punching out front. Clean air.
And to the right of her be the Courageous and Legend.
Yes.
But Running Tide, as you can see, already looking like she's got herself just a slight lead. And Jean trying a different strategy. Looks like she's gonna lay back. Not yet.
Just slipping back though. Doesn't have quite the speed the other boats do.
And Rough Justice starting to kick some waves herself. But I can tell you, Running Tide is looking extremely well at the
Very
top.
strong sail, very nicely trimmed.
Tight.
Maybe
No flutter.
not. Maybe Rough Justice might have a slightly bigger sail. But yep, Running Tide getting a nice lift, pointing very well into the wind.
And she's gonna wanna
Now the
make
question-
up some of the ground because she had a 3rd place finish yesterday, so looking to reverse her fortunes today.
How far over will these boats come before they tack over? Are we gonna have any early takers?
Well, as you say it, Legend. Gone back.
Tacking away. She was in a little bit of dirty air there behind those other 2 boats. So she'll be kind of up the middle, maybe a little bit to the right.
Courage is also going back.
Courage is going with her, right?
Rough Justice has already gone back. Running Tide is going to go over some more, complete the the cut, sorry, before she decides to lay back.
Tide not looking too bad. It actually looked a little higher than it was midday.
It looks like it's coming up, but not completely high tide as yet. All right, so clean sailing. We have 3 boats that we can see on our screens. On a port lay to the top of your screen at the far right, New Legend, followed by Courageous and Rough Justice. And way out there to the right would be Ed Sky. She's got a long way to come back.
That is a long way.
To get back to the mark.
Yep.
And Captain Plug, I don't see the windward marker from this point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
right in front of us.
It's right in front of us. So they've moved it.
Yeah, I guess moved it out to accommodate
deeper
the deeper draft
Yep.
boats. Yep.
All right, so that makes it a little bit closer for the boats that are all the way at the top of the line.
They're all coming back now.
All right, and yep, definitely looks like Running Tide has joined the boats on port.
Ed Sky is tacked on starboard now.
And Ed Sky is coming back on starboard to try to get back to the center of the course. And so coming from the top right on a starboard tack, Ed Sky. And from the drone, you can see
I'm thinking that's Courageous.
Looks like she's borrowed a sail from the Legend.
It
'cause
does.
It's got A1 on it.
Yeah.
And
Rough
borrowed
Justice
sail,
there.
Rough Justice in the middle, number 10.
Yep.
And the real A1 sailing at the top. And so those 3 boats are currently on port, heading up the middle of the harbor. Coming from their right is Ed Sky, who's on a starboard lay at the moment. And as we swing our drone around to the left a bit, I'm sure we'll be able to pick up Running Tide.
Running Tide, yep.
And also New Courageous. With Legend to the right. Courageous sailing extremely well. Rough Justice as well in the center.
Boats are all looking pretty steady. Nobody's getting knocked down like with a heavy puff of wind. So not too puffy right now, just from the way the boats are moving or not moving, if you will. Everybody got the trim just so and the weight just so that the boat's heeled over a few degrees to leeward.
And to your far left at the moment, number 5, Running Tide, sailing back towards the center of the course. I wonder whether that move to go down whether she may have gone too far.
I think they went too far because right now it looks like if these boats come back, they would cut her.
Looks that way,